So this lesson is on simplifying expressions, which you've done in the past. So really what I'm going to teach you is how to use your calculator to figure this out. So grab a calculator. Before we do anything, I want to make sure your calculator is on the normal window. So you need to go to Zoom. Zoom's right here at the very top, and you want to go down to Standard, which is number 6. So you can either scroll down to number 6, you can hit the number 6 button, but you want your screen to be normal, okay? So we're going to go to y equals, and we're going to type this in, the question. So we're going to type in 10x plus 42 minus 3x minus 13. We're going to hit graph. So this is what the answer should look like, this line right here. This is my answer. So let's go back to y equals. We're going to go down to y2, and we're going to type in the first answer. So we're going to type in 13x plus 29. And again, if I'm going too fast, the X button is right here, if you couldn't follow along with that. And let's press graph. Let's see if they look the same. No, they don't. Look, this is what my answer should be, and this is the answer I typed in. So that's not right. So we're going to go back to y equals. We're going to go down to y2. We're going to clear that out. Let's try b. b says 13x plus 55. Let's see if those look the same. That's what my answer should look like. And that's the graph of what I typed in. So again, no, they're not the same. They look different. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to type in the last answer, 7x plus 29. And I'm going to hit graph. So that's what the answer should look like. And what's actually happening is this second answer, this answer that I typed in, is graphing right on top of it. So when you graph it and you really only see one line, that means that's the right answer. It graphed right on top of itself. So for this question, C was the right answer. Let's do another one. I know you're probably confused, so let's do another one. We're going to go back to y equals. This time I'm going to clear out both because I have a brand new question. I'm going to type in example 2. So the negative is down here, negative 22 plus 7. Now, when you're using your graphing calculator, you always have to use an X, okay? So even though this says an A, I'm going to type in an X. So 7x minus 33 plus 2, but again, instead of A, I'm going to use an X. We're going to graph that. So this line is what I want my answer to look like, okay? So let's go try A. A says 11 plus 9A, but I'm going to use an X instead. So no, those are not the same. This is what I want my answer to look like, and the graph I graphed is this one way over here. So let's go back to y equals. I'm going to go down and clear this out. I'm going to type in B, negative 55 plus 9A, but instead of an A, I'm going to use an X. So there's my answer. And look, I found it. It graphed right on top of it. I don't see another line anywhere. So B is my answer. All right, let's do example 3. 9m, but again, I can't use an m, so I'm going to use an x. 9x minus 2 minus 6m, but I'm going to use an x, minus 14. And let's graph it. Okay, that's what I want my answer to look like. So I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to go down. I'm going to type in A. 3m, but I'm going to use an x, minus 16. Let's graph it. And that's my answer. It has the same one. I'm going to go through and just show you real quick why the other ones are wrong. B says 15x minus 16. Let's graph that one. So that's my answer. And that's the 15m minus 16, so that was wrong. And then the 3x minus 12. So this is what I want my answer to be. and that's the answer. So this one, A, was the right one. It showed up right on top of itself. All right, same thing. I'm going to go to y equals. Clear these out. 2 minus 4x instead of a y plus 9 plus 6x. We're going to graph it. That's what I want my answer to look like. So let's try A. Negative 7 plus 2x. See if those look the same. They do not. Let's try 11 plus 10x. Graph that. That's what I want it to look like. Nope, that's not right. So it's got to be C, but let's just look at it just to make sure. 11 plus 2x. That's what I want my answer to look like. And there it is. It's graphed right on top of it. So C is the right answer. 5, if you'll pause it, I want you to try 5 on your own. And let's see if you can get it. So for number 5, you should have typed in 22 plus 3x minus 6x minus 22. That's what you want your answer to look like. Hopefully you did it and saw that negative 3x, when you graph it, graphs right on top of it. The negative 3n was the right one for that one. All right, these work the exact same way, even though they look just a little bit different. So let me do 6, and then you're going to do 7. So 6 says 1 plus 4, and then parentheses 12 minus 5x. And I'm going to graph it. Okay, that's what I want my answer to look like. So let's try A, 5 minus 20x. Nope, that's not right. Let's try B, 49 minus 20x. That's what I want my answer to be. Yep, and that's it. So B is the answer. So if you will try example 7, pause it, try example 7. All right, so 7, you should have typed it in like this. And your graph should have looked like that. That's what we want our answer to be. And then your answer should have been 28x plus 15. Let's graph it. And that's the right one. So A was the right one for 7. All right, one more just to make sure we got it. So if you'll pause it and try this one. Okay, so you should have done 6 parentheses 2x plus 4 minus 4 parentheses 5x minus 2. Graphed it. That's what we want the answer to look like. And let's try these. Negative 8x minus 8. That's not right. Negative 8x plus 32. That's the answer. Yep, that's it. So B is the answer here. Okay, so that's how you do those in your calculator. Just graph them, see which graph matches. All right, order of operations. Again, you learned this a long time ago. So I'm not doing it. I'm going to teach you how to do it on your calculator. So let's go back to our home screen. And you're just going to type it straight in one line. That's the big part. Don't try and do one little part at a time. Just type it straight in. 4 plus 8. This little sign is a times. Times 4 divided by 2 minus 19. And example 9 is 1. So if you'll pause it and try example 10. All right, here's how 10 should have looked in your calculator. 9 times 3 plus 14 divided by 7 minus 10. And you should have gotten 19. Okay, absolute value. Let me show you how to do that in your calculator. So you're going to do 33 minus, well, all right, I'm going too fast. Let me back up. These lines, these straight lines, they mean absolute value. Absolute value. So here's how you do it on your calculator. I'm going to type in 33 minus, and then I need the absolute value. So here's how you get to it. And you might want to write these steps down in your notebook so that you can use it on your test. You're going to press second. Second is right here. And then you're going to press 0. And this list pops up. And ABS stands for absolute value. So I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to type in 16 minus 8. I'm going to close that parentheses. So that is 33 minus the absolute value of 16 minus 8. And you get 25. So the answer to 11 is 25. Let's do another one. So 25 plus, remember to get to absolute value, you press second. And then you press 0. And hit enter, because it's the very first one, absolute value. And we're going to do 2 minus 14. And that answer is 37. So pause it. I want you to try this last one. All right, hopefully you have tried it. And you do absolute value of 26 minus 15. And you get 9. You should have gotten 9. All right, and the last thing we're going to cover here is how to do this division, problems like this with division. It's really easy. You're just going to divide each one. So I'm going to start right here by doing this division. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So I'm going to put my 4. Now I'm going to divide these. This is really a negative 12. So now I'm going to do negative 12 divided by 4. And I got negative 3. So I'm going to put minus 3. And then that 12 had an x, so I also have to bring that x down with that 3. So let's do another one. I know you might be confused. Let's do another one. Here, start with this very first 2. We're going to divide these. So I'm going to do 14 divided by negative 2. And I got negative 7. So I'm going to put negative 7. This 14 had a y, so I'm going to put a y with that 7. All right, now I'm going to do this division. And it's a negative 18 divided by a negative 2. This time I got a positive 9. If you get a positive, that means you need to put a plus. So I'm going to put plus 9. So I got negative 7y plus 9. All right, let's do this one. 36 divided by negative 4. 36 divided by negative 4. That is negative 9. So I'm going to put negative 9. Now I'm going to divide these. It's a positive 48. So I'm going to do 48 divided by negative 4. And I got negative 12. So I'm going to put minus 12. And that 48 had a y, so I got to put a y with it. And the very last type of problem, I just want to make sure you see everything that could possibly be seen. Let's look at this one. Let's do 16x minus 8y plus 4 divided by negative 2. All right, let's do this problem. And I would write this one down in your notebook because it'll be a good example to have. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to divide each part by negative 2. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to do 16 divided by negative 2. And I got negative 8. So I'm going to put negative 8. And that 16 had an x, so I'm going to put an x with that. Now I'm going to do this middle part. That's a negative 8 on top divided by a negative 2. And I got a positive 4. So think back, what do I do if I get a positive answer? I put a plus 4. And again, bring that y down with it. And then let's do this last division, 4 divided by -2. And that gave me a -2. So that's it. If you'll go try that worksheet and let me know if you need help.